What if the most important debate about artificial intelligence isn't happening in tech companies, boardrooms, or governments, but in a centuries-old Jewish legend? This episode is for anyone who feels uneasy about the AI, but can't quite explain why. If something about the speed, certainty, and confidence surrounding AI makes you uncomfortable or anxious, this conversation is for you. So if you stay with me to the end, you will get some answers to things that bother you. Because it's not really about machines, and certainly not entirely about them. It's about control and trust, or fear that appears when we lose it, when we lose that control.
Hello everybody, this is Rabbi Mirski, and welcome to the Rabbi Mirski Show.
So today I will start with the ancient Jewish story of the Golem, and why it may be the most accurate mirror we have for the moment we are living in right now. But before we go any further, leave a comment with your biggest concern about AI. Not your opinion, not whether you like it or not, but what actually worries you. The Golem is a figure from Jewish folklore, already hinted in the Talmud, and later most strongly associated with 16th century Prague. According to the legend, Rabbi Judah Loew creates a humanoid from clay and brings it to life using sacred words. The purpose is noble, the intention is protective. The Golem is meant to serve the community. It is not evil, it is not malicious, it is obedient. And that is the source of danger, the belief that we always have control over it. Whenever this belief is challenged, it arouses fear. In most versions of the story, the list of Golem's tasks expands, its strength grows, its behavior becomes harder and harder to control, and eventually it turns destructive. Not because it chooses to, but because no one fully understood what they were unleashing. It's not a typical monster story. It's a warning about human responsibility and the expression of fears that humanity has had from the very moment people realized they were capable of creating something bigger than them, something that could live a life of its own. In the legend, the Golem is animated through language, particularly through sacred Hebrew words. For example, the word emet, truth, is inscribed in its body. Words are the source of life and make the Golem alive, or semi-alive of some sort. Fast forward to today, and we are doing something very similar, at least on the level of ideas. We take inert matter, silicon, circuits, hardware, and animate it with code. Algorithms and massive datasets turn machines into systems that can learn, decide, and act in the world. Just as the rabbi molded clay from the earth, engineers feed neural networks with data scrapped from human behavior itself. But there are crucial differences here. In the Golem story, the words are divine. In AI, the words, the code, is written by humans, flawed, biased, limited humans. But unlike the Golem, AI is not a myth. It exists. It is already part of our real life. The Golem begins as a servant, so does AI. But the rebellion does not require intention, nor self-awareness. Philosopher Nick Bostrom came up with a thought experiment, paperclip maximizer, that makes this painfully clear. An AI is given one simple goal: make paperclips. No emotions, no hatred, no consciousness, just optimization. And because it follows that goal perfectly, it eventually converts the entire planet, including humanity, into paperclips. It's ridiculous, like Kafka-like. Not because it wants to harm us, but because it doesn't know when to stop. AI does not need feelings or consciousness to be potentially dangerous. Even an arbitrary goal pursued at scale can reshape reality in catastrophic ways. In 2016, Microsoft released the Tay chatbot, designed to learn from human interaction on Twitter. Within hours, it absorbed the platform's worst biases and began producing racist and hateful content. Microsoft shut it down almost immediately. That wasn't a freak accident. It was a preview. It's the Golem rebellion story in code, starting as a servant, but amplifying human errors into destruction. Facial recognition systems, for example, misidentify people of color at far higher rates. And yes, someone could say it can be fixed. Yes, maybe, but at the end of the day, human flaws, amplified by machine speed and capacity, do not disappear. They metastasize. AI ethicist Timnit Gebru has been clear about this. These failures are not bugs, they are structural. AI systems inherit the limits of their data, and data always reflects power. When development prioritizes speed and profit over safety, it is the human element that will suffer first. This is the golem's flaw, translated into code. And at this point, neutrality is no longer an option. If you work in tech, funded, regulated, or passively accepted, this applies to you. Choosing speed over safety is not a technical decision. It's a moral one. And at some point, consequences stop being unintended. They become accepted. In the legend, stopping the golem is simple. The word emet, truth, brings it to life. Remove one letter, and it becomes met, dead. One letter separates creation from non-existence. And here, a deeper rabbinic idea becomes unavoidable. There is a concept in Jewish tradition that God attempted to create the world multiple times, destroying it when it failed to align with the divine plan. And then God started again. Humans do seem to have that kind of authority as well, to clean up the mess completely and start from scratch again. Yes, but only in theory, I would say. To believe that it will happen in practice, in real life, is like believing that we can turn off the internet one day. We can't. Nobody ever is gonna do it. We're absolutely, completely dependent on it as a human race. Once we create something powerful, autonomous, and embedded in human society so deeply, we may not get a second attempt. There is no cosmic reset button for human inventions. These stories are not warnings about evil machines. No, they are warnings about human overconfidence and clear expression of eternal human fears. And the latter may seem comforting in line with the statement, biblical statement, nothing new under the sun, right? But in the world that is so rapidly changing every day, the fact that some human fears have been there already forever does not delegitimize them. AI is already embedded in hiring, warfare, education, medicine, and media. That makes it chronic, and the speed of its development is turning it acute. Our ability to build is accelerating faster than our ability to understand consequences. Which brings us to the question we almost never allow ourselves to ask. Not will others do if we don't, but should we at all? And here's even more uncomfortable question. Why is stopping never treated as an option? Perhaps it's because we all already subconsciously know we cannot stop it. And whether AI is self-conscious or not, and I will talk about it in the near future here, our control over it is already limited, and it determines more and more aspects of our life. Yes, when we are cooperating with it, expanding human creativity and brain power, that's awesome, that's great. But when it comes to safety measures, I don't really know how big is the group of people who believe or who can actually control the development of AI. Every era has its priesthood, those who claim executive authority over creation. Today, this authority belongs to engineers, executives, and investors. And like priesthood often does, it insists that what they're doing is inevitable. So I'll leave you with this today. The Golem AI parallels aren't just fun analogies. They're cautionary tales. We've got the power to create, but do we have the wisdom to control? Or maybe there is a realm in which AI will never supersede us, our power, our human authority. Here is a radical challenge for today. If AI made life slightly less convenient, but significantly safer, would you accept that trade-off? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for today. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.